Good morning. It is the 21st of October 2019, and we're going to look today at what is lurking under Bitcoin. It always makes me think of the deep ocean and what scary things might be under there, and what might that mean for prices in Bitcoin. So we see here in this leading image, there is some really important technical indicators setting up down below the prices, and I want to dig into them and make a journal of them here today. So this isn't trading advice, this is just market observation, and it's a leader for more training if you're interested in this kind of stuff. So let's jump into the main screen, and I'm going to double check now that this streaming software is working and I'm working it correctly. Good morning. It's rough to get this ready for 5 o'clock in the morning here today. I'm having a hard time getting going on this stream, and it doesn't seem like the chat is coming along the side. It is the most frustrating thing to be trying to get this to work every day. It pisses me off to no end, I'll tell you. Let's jump into the episode. I'll ignore that for now. Here we are looking at the price of Bitcoin. Of course, we're wondering what is going on in the close time frame, but always for the close time frame, I've got to start out looking at the long time frame and zoom my way in. And so the weekly RSI here is still going flat, and this last candle, if you could call it that, is really, it's got to make an angle upward. And I don't know why I can't draw angles here anymore, but it's got to make an angle upward. It can't go flat. It can't lay down. If it's laying down, prices are flagging off. And if we're breaking down below these levels, it's probably going to be sharp and fast, just as it was here. So we really got to pay attention as this goes. Now, as we zoom in, we can start to get some more perspective on this, because across this one flank, it's different than this flank that we saw here. The RSI actually pulled back a bit before the move up, which is curious. Here we have a divergence to the positive and a potential. We've got the 3 touches of death here, and on this very small edge we had a 1, 2, 3 and a turnaround. We'll zoom into that now to see what's going on with that. But as I'm zooming in, I'm paying attention to what's going on underneath the price charts here. What is going on with this divergence in RSI? Where is it compared to the center line? Because once it crosses the center line, we're probably going to see stronger prices. And my conspiracy theory is that we are probably going to come up to this support and resistance level and make our way down to 5,800 after that. And of course, I have no idea. I don't know. I thought we were going to hit support and resistance back at 6,000 when we came across this, and it just went right through it. So it's a matter of now watching what's going on with our RSI and our indicators right through this kind of level to see if we're going to see that play out again for us. Not going to happen if we come back below these levels though. What are we on? The 12-hour time frame. Zoom into the 4-hour time frame. Now, yesterday, this downtrend was something we were zooming right in on, and we caught this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It was a really good signal. We've got our stop above our entry, and we're sitting there watching it now, because it's not our job to determine how far it's going to go. I think that's a mistake, to set your profit targets and take your profit when it hits, but I'm also trying for a trend. And if it's sideways markets, it's a good idea to take your profits when it hits these ranges. So it depends on your approach and your strategy, how you're going to unfold your stops after you enter a trade like this. Now, let's zoom into the next indicator and see what it's telling us. So good morning, M. Good to have you along. Mick3Y Momo, good to have you along as well. I see we've got a few people on the stream. If this is the first time you're here, be sure to say hello in the chat. Let me know where in the world you're from. It's 5 o'clock in the morning here in the middle of Canada. And I always am interested to know if I'm reaching more of a European audience, more of an Australian audience, and a little bit away from the US audience. So I get up really early in the morning to get this stream done and to have our spreadsheets updated. What are we looking at? Just Bitcoin. Let's look at the on-balance volume. Start off with the long-term view on this and clear this off and zoom in. So the long-term view is always making me compare where we are now to what happened back here. And as we're stepping in on this, we can't have any further dumping on this weekly on-balance volume. If it continues, you know, who knows what's going to go on, but it's got to change and come back up into a positive by the time we're crossing this 9,000 level. We really have to see it here. And this is on the weekly view too. So let's zoom into the daily. So I keep comparing it to this, what was going on back here. And yet I should probably compare it to where we had our dumping back in the weekly. And I don't know. Let's go to the weekly, circle this, and then go back to the daily. So on the weekly, this looks pretty significant, but on the daily, it's not that much. We had some good positive, and it didn't dip down nearly as much as we have right now. This was a deeper dip down, similar to what we have now. And so we really need to see it zoom up and cross to the positive as we're showing some strength now. So let's zoom in on this. Do we have enough? It gave a little positive bit there, but that doesn't look very strong compared to, you know, where we have to go. That's not giving us fully the juice yet. Let's zoom in on it. Okay, it's good that it's getting a little bit more juicy here. So this also gives us now another specific area to be watching, that if prices are breaking higher and we can come in and take a look at this chart, it's going to verify for us that that is something that is moving on and not a fake out. If it's poking up above these levels and we're not seeing corresponding volume going on, then I wouldn't be as excited about it. So I love to get these specifics in these chart patterns. There's a spoiler. Let's zoom back out to the weekly view now. You may know this is one of my favorite views, and when I am seeing this histogram shorten here, that's the first sign of what we need for bulls. This histogram has to shorten week after week if we're going to be changing around and going the other way. Just, it has to. That's the way it goes. So as this is shortening here, we're going up. Let's zoom in on this to see what that, because now we're zooming in on that earliest histogram, that one that's showing the littlest bit. We do have a daily view that is crossing to the positive, downtrending, and this cross to the positive right there is bullish. That's an important bullish change on the daily crossover here inside this 1, 2, 3 setup. So I really want to pay attention because of this. Let's zoom into the 12-hour time frame. It had crossed to the positive, pulled its way back, but now crossed to the positive again on this lip, so that we have this wicked divergence going on right now. This is really what I'm digging into to say here, this is what's going on under the chart that we really should be paying attention to. And if we're not, we're probably going to be arguing for the bear still. And the bear has been chased out. In the 4-hour, now the argument's never done, of course. But the 4-hour, if these histograms are pulling shorter and this crosses to the negative, then I would expect that the 12-hour is going to follow it. So we've got some really good ones here too, in that this isn't going to give us the breakout pull away pattern like we had yesterday, as this was making the downtrend. We had the 1, 2, 3, we had this coming up to the cross. All of this was coinciding so nice for the entry yesterday. Now it's not quite so nice for the entry, but if these histograms continue to lengthen as we're strengthening, then I would pay more attention to it. So this has to continue to flare positive on the 4-hour. And if we zoom into the 1-hour time frame, all right, it's pulled back. So that's okay. In the 1-hour, it's going to wave all the way up, but it's the direction of these waves and compared to the 4 and the 12-hour that makes this okay. So that it's crossed to the negative isn't necessarily negative, But as soon as these histograms are twisting to the positive and we're coming up above this will cross to the positive again. The 4 hour will flare, the 12 hour will support it, and so will the 1 day. That's pretty cool. And now from this 1 hour, I know when we zoom into the 15 minute, I don't know, but I was expecting that on the 15 minute, we are seeing the zoom in of that pullback on the 1 hour, and we're getting more specific on the crossover as we break out higher. So now we have more very specific levels and specific indicators to back that up. Like this stuff, hit the thumbs up button. It is a small fee. So here's our trading signal from yesterday. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, parallel downtrend line. It broke out from this as the Ichimoku cloud was going higher. We had the relative strength index diverging. We had the on balance and the MACD indicator was also backing us up. This was a huge, lots of things backing us up on this one. Now we have some specifics. If it's cracking above these levels and doing what we're looking for, I like it, especially with the Ichimoku cloud supporting it here on the 1 hour time frame. I'm going to go backwards now to the 4 hour time frame and see that it is crossed to the positive. It is looking good, except that it hasn't gone up through the cloud. So this is a more of a trend following strategy, and it'll wait for us to. Now let me clear this off and zoom back further to the 1 day view. No, shit, missed the 12 hour view. 12 hour view. Has not crossed to the positive yet. This is in the place where it could be doing the sell signal in the downtrend, absolutely. So we really have to be aware of as this is coming up, and if it's coming down through this cloud and we start to see some negative details, this is really important. But I'm expecting, and I may be wrong, that it's going to be coming up through this cloud now. Let's go to the 1 day view, because this hasn't crossed positive yet. It's still sort of hanging sideways, but that we have a very thin cloud here is the first point of a potential for change. And if this were to twist to the positive as we are coming up above these levels and getting into the cloud, I would like that. That would be good on the 12 hour. Backing up to the daily view, this one gave us lots and lots of advanced warning that we were going to be going down, even though I wasn't really buying it. It was already telling us, like the Ichimoku cloud was above these, it was giving it to us, no problem. Now this is one of my conspiracy theory reasons, that is that we're going to come up into this cloud and do a sell signal in the downtrend. It's going to have to do quite a bit of dancing to make this go sideways before we're going to come up and cut through it on the daily. So we'll see how this pans out now too. This is only to watch it and see, but when we zoom into the closer time frames, we do have some specifics for the top and the bottom now. This isn't as specific, just more of a general view. And the weekly I wanted to take a look at as well, specifically to take a look at where the blue and the red are. The blue crossed below the red, and I'm thinking that's bad, that's bearish. We're coming down to touch this because of that cross. But if it's holding itself and crosses back to the positive as we're getting any kind of inkling here at all, then I'm watching for prices to blast up and through this level and create support above it. And I wasn't watching for that last week. I wasn't looking for that at all. I was only seeing this and coming down. I wasn't seeing the potential for this to gather and to poke up through the cloud. But if we're getting this in the weekly starting to turn, I will. Now, the last thing I want to go through here is the Bollinger Bands. Hey, I got the name right. So this must be the logarithmic view still. The logarithmic view of this is pretty cool because of how it stretches out these patterns. When I go back to the regular view, it's a really different looking chart. Really different looking chart. And I want to observe that as we were in the bull trend, this stayed in the weekly. It stayed above the weekly midline in the Bollinger Bands all the way along, and we are not there. It's going to be a while before we get there. We've got some sideways action to go, or just a big blast straight up, but it's not going to happen as quickly as I might want it to. So if we zoom in now to the 1 day view, we are coming into a very tight neck now. So that we're at the bottom of this neck and crossing the midline is something to observe. Now if I zoom into the 12-hour time frame, here's our 1, 2, 3 touches of death. There's our parallel channel down and our breakout from this bottom. Awesome. Now if it continues on, we're going to be in good stead. It's moved above the midline. Nothing saying. I don't know what to do with this. And here it's widening and at the top of the band. So I don't know if it's going to keep going sideways and then down. But our other indicators give me better insight as to what to do and what levels to do it at. This one I'm still learning. It's coming back to the 50% level, the mid-level here. If it bounces off this and starts to go back up higher, that'll give me something to chew on and pay attention to over the next while, just to learn from. As I'm zooming into the 15-minute time frame, it would coordinate well if this was to be crossing over and poking up to the top of this range, and the 1-hour time frame was crossing or bouncing back up off this midline, and the 4-hour time frame was just pushing up against these outer edges and just keeping itself up against, you know, as it does trend, it stays right against the edge. I don't know, and I'm just observing this because it's a new indicator to me. It's one of those, you got to invest in it a long time before the patterns start to jump out at you at the chart, I think. Boom, boom. All right. I think, Assos man, good to have you along. DJ Day, I think BTC USDT will retrace, but if it does, it'll be for a head and shoulders pattern, which for me will pull it back to 6,300. Yes. Yeah, I'm still looking for that 63, maybe 5,800, but I don't know. The head and form a head and shoulders on the weekly chart. Let's go to this chart. Get rid of the indicator. Go to weekly. And I really can't pull a head and shoulders out of this very easily, because a head and shoulders for me has a 1, 2, 3 formation, almost a top, right? But then it goes higher. Then it makes a 1, 2, 3 formation, and it actually breaks down below that. So there's our 1, 2, 3 top formation. Then it comes down and it makes a 1, 2, 3, and it fails the other way. So you can see how these retests of the recent higher low on either side give you the shoulder, and the head is always a 1, 2, 3 top. So if we zoom into this, we could see sort of a head and shoulders, but more of a double top. And it doesn't really matter where these are relative to one another, but as you're seeing this overall trend happening and they're coincided by 1, 2, 3 tops, it's pretty important. So for me, I don't see this as a head and shoulders top. A lot of people take all sorts of different charts and call them head and shoulders, but well, I guess this would be a shoulder and this would be the head and this would be your shoulder. For sure, this would be a sell signal at that level as we're coming down below it. Absolutely. And you can see the momentum of it all. So yeah, I gotta say that is head and shoulders on the weekly. What's going on with my chart? I think I killed this chart again. Yeah, Koinigi just craps out on me. I overdo it and it can't take it. All right, TradingView, you may be next in line. Let me go on with the last bit of the presentation here, since those charts crapped out on me. I'll close them for now. That's having too many open at the same time, driving them. So here we are looking at the bull market watch spreadsheet, and we can see that we have 14 exits today on Binance, 4 more exits today on Poloniex. Pretty crazy to see all of these things topping out. If I zoom back here, zip over to the very end, and scroll down, we can see how we've gone from 79 alert stat or hold status coins, and it's dribbled its way down to 34 of those hold status coins. And that may seem very bearish, but it depends on where you got into your trades, because if I do this sorted list from our spreadsheet, it brings in only the coins that are over 20% profit in our portfolio. And here we have 12 coins in that are still above 20% profit, because we filtered out and got into the ones that made the bottom formations early enough that we're still holding some really nice profitable positions here. So it really depends on where you got into this, how bullish or bearish it actually looks to you. But for now, in the bull bear market index, we can see that we have more failed coins. It's really filtered out which are the best projects. The ones that have made it and are still hold status coins. So these are some of the best projects that have had the most investor interest. And the rest of them, we're just not investing in them. They didn't make the chart patterns that we're looking for. And of course, you can get access to this spreadsheet over on introdocryptos.ca. You can join up for the free webinar, learn more about the trading system that I talk about here. And you can also check out the crypto signals up along the top. You can see some of our top coins that we have, learn more about our pro alert signals or the altcoin bull market watch. Now, let me see if I can bring up another chart. And actually, I didn't bring up Bitcoin dominance either. So let me grab that chart, drag this down. Let's zoom out to a 6-month view on that. And I'll drag down this one and go out to, so we see Bitcoin is showing strength out of this. Let's go to a 1-hour view for each of these. So we see Litecoin picking up a little bit off of this, rejecting these lows. We can see Ripple has pulled back a little bit, but gaining some support here. So it's really important not to freak out too early on your coins and know when to get in and out and give some elasticity into the variance so that you know that you're going to stay in for the trend and you're not going to be jumping in and out, in and out, in and out, over trading, which is so easy to do. This is one of the things that this trading spreadsheet does for me is I no longer overtrade the same way I used to. Now I'm more of a position trader along with the entire market as it's going. Now here's Bitcoin dominance. It's bounced off this trend line and that is not good. So long as this continues on the uptrend, we're going to be continuing to be getting out of our altcoins as they cross over the exponential moving averages. And there's no questioning it. We just have to reposition and wait again for that bottom formation to really mature. This is what seems to be setting up here. Beckham, good day from London. Good to have you along. I'm out of chart. Germany from Yui. New one for me. Are you still wasting your time looking at price? Don't you get it that Bitcoin can't scale and that it's not Bitcoin and that it's not Bitcoin and that it's dead at the end? Smart people in crypto are all working which work well. Indeed. And you know what? I may agree with you, the Bitcoin SV channel. I see Bitcoin SV actually made a bottom formation and is pulling up a little bit right now. And it's turned into a hold status in our bull market watch spreadsheet, actually. And I have I don't have enough education about the differences between the Bitcoin forks to be arguing back and forth, and I don't really care. I'm just looking for the chart pattern to take off. And when that chart pattern moves, I follow it. And when we follow the ones that are moving across the whole average of 200 coins, we are filtering out to just the best projects, just by what the investors are telling us. We have a perfect opportunity with all of these 1, 2, 3 formations setting up. Anyone able to mute in here? Yeah, actually there should be some mods in here. And if not, let's go add a couple moderators. Let's go back and add some people who are here every day. Well, M, you are an alert subscriber. Let me now add you up to moderator. MIK3YMOMO, I'm going to make you a moderator as well. Assos Man, I'll make you a moderator. You're here regularly. So you guys can kick noisy people. Beckham, I've seen you here a few times. I like you. Let's do it. You're a moderator as well. Tom Starwalker. Now that's an awesome name. I like it. Trading any asset has to be about the same rules regardless of the financial outcome. Right. And you know, we're doing this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on the cryptocurrencies. Get the right chart here. Where are we? We're doing all of this on the cryptocurrencies, but you're absolutely right. There was a long time where the cryptocurrencies were in a bottom formation and they were on the way down. It was a downtrend. There was no bottom formation to trade. And so silver and gold were doing better in bottom formations than cryptos a while ago. And there's other markets that you take this strategy and you don't just do it in cryptos. You find out the stocks that are making this formation, top formations or bottom formations, consolidations, trend continuations, all of this works. Stocks, commodities, cryptocurrencies, equities, whatever you want to trade. If it makes the chart, we can use this pattern on it. And I actually learned it, first of all, looking for commodities and specifically looking at the agricultural commodities, corn, wheat, oats, soybeans, and stuff like that. Those are awesome. Boom, boom. Oliver, good to have you along. From Finland. My dad's family is from Finland. From around Puri, Finland, and Helsinki. So I've got some Finnish blood running through me. Where are we now in the chart? So pretty much as a wrap up, it really bugs me when Koinigi charts crap out of me like that. And usually, once they crap out, they don't load back up for me. I have to go to a different browser and it always screws me up. So that's it for today there. I will sign off. We've gone through the Bitcoin stuff. My charts are dead, and I've just knocked over my water bottle. Good thing it's plastic. I will sign off for now, and I'll see you guys over in our Discord chat. Thanks for tuning in today. Tomorrow, I'm going to come up with a bit of a different setup and a different strategy. So let me now sign off, and I will wish you all the best in your trading. Cheers.